I don't know.
Well, we're not live yet.
That's because we had our start and you fucked it up.
And Mitch was channeling his inner Matt from.
It's a birthday. We gotta fuck it up somehow.
It's true. We'll do 5 takes of it, so it's perfect on Mitch's birthday.
Can't ruin an episode if you don't hold it.
And just to explain, we started. We went through the whole intro. We were having a good bit of banter about how in America censorship works on Japanese games in a different way to the rest of the world, because horrific, deplorable violence is okay as long as there's no naughty language or boobies. And then, thanks to Erebus Jones, all the way tuning in from Somerset, we realised that Mitch had left some music playing over the entire stream, and also his mic was muted. So it wouldn't be a birthday episode if something didn't go a bit tits up. Thank you. Goodbye.
And on that bombshell.
And on that note, I've just remembered another funny news story that we probably want to talk about. So if Dan, you want to take over and go around the room and see how everyone is. I think it's about 8 degrees Celsius in Las Vegas at the moment.
It is.
Good.
It's amazing that you know that, because I haven't told you yet.
Well, you told me in the show that never was. So approximately 20 minutes ago, you told me what the temperature was, and I remembered that you told me that from 20 minutes ago. Thank you.
Welcome. Hello. It's nice in Lincoln. I watched the new Bill and Ted film last night. What a ridiculous film that is. It definitely feels like a 90s film today, but there you go. That's really the highlight of my week. But I'm going back to work tomorrow. Well, computer work. But yeah, nice week off. The weather here is quite mild. It's about 10 degrees. Quite nice.
Positively tropical. Get your shorts on.
Yeah, I know.
Liam, how's things with you?
Pretty good. Just been hanging out. I'm on holiday for a week now, so
nice.
Get to play loads of games or not play loads of games, and regret it afterwards. We'll see how it goes.
You should never live with gaming regret. If you're around tomorrow, I've got a day off tomorrow because it's my birthday today. It's my birthday.
Very disappointed. They did this thing instead of Sports Story. Really, really disappointed.
For anyone listening, Michael's background is Mario Golf. Recently announced hugely disappointing for me, Nintendo Direct. It went on for...
what is it? Shooting the Zelda Skyward HD thing into oblivion.
If he had a better shot, that game wouldn't exist.
Yeah.
And Mitch, how's things in LA?
It's not working on the stream?
Let me have a listen.
Oh no.
Well, you could just sit there. I think it would be amusing.
All right, so
yeah,
so it's definitely not working.
So all right, if you go into the if you're in OBS, here, I'm gonna pull it up.
You can tell how long we've been talking because I've nearly finished my first bit.
Click the gear, go to properties, and then change the device. Usually, yeah, if you go to default and then switch it back
Got
to
it.
something
Okay,
else.
now we
then-
have audio. I was trying. I couldn't find it. I was going through all the different settings, and I just didn't do properties. I did filters or something like that. So.
That was constantly happening to me, where it would default to another audio device.
Well, so what happened earlier today was when I got on, Zoom didn't recognize my mic, so then I unplugged my mic, plugged it back in, and so I had OBS on at the same time, so it must have disconnected it that way.
Yep.
So I got to make a note of that.
Yeah, interesting that these things only ever happen on significant occasions for me. Yeah, good one.
Besides all the technical work, I'm good. I'm good.
And we are Pixel Pints. We are the only global podcast that talks about two things that we enjoy, which is good beer and video games. We're not here to promote drinking. Please drink responsibly. Any beers or breweries you might talk about aren't sponsoring us because we don't monetize, and we're not a big enough outfit of morons yet to be able to get people to pay us to talk bollocks. And because it's my birthday, Evan's not here. Yay! So cheers to him. And because he's not here, we get to do a news episode. But just talking about the news is a bit boring, so I thought I'd do something different and make it into a news quiz. We'll be split into teams. They won't be even because America doesn't have to. America doesn't want support from anyone, particularly if you're in Texas and asking for snowplows from Arkansas. That was so funny. You guys must have seen that on the news, where one side of the road is in Arkansas and it's been ploughed and gritted, and the other side is in Texas and it's covered in a meter of snow. It's fucking hilarious. So the teams will be Matt and Mitch. You are team ESRB.
/USA.
Dan, Liam, and Michael, you are team Peggy. And we'll start with team ESRB.
Wait, hold on. Are we not doing beers first?
Oh, yeah, beers. Well, I've nearly finished one.
Yeah,
It was
I finished mine.
Beavertown Gamma Ray.
I was like, you're screwing up my process. I have all these menus set up the right way, and I have a system, and you're effing it up, post. Come on, get
I
the
was
picture.
drinking Yosemite small pale.
Is that rum, Rafa?
Yep. On the special
Why
occasion,
is the rum gone?
Why is the rum gone?
Gamma Ray is very nice if anyone can get their hands on it. It's a cool can, and it tastes nice. What
I
more do
like
you
the
want?
can.
That is
You
your
want a moon on a
favorite.
stick?
That is your favorite beer, isn't it?
It's one of them, yeah.
I like it a lot, the Beavertown stuff. Beavertown's good.
Except their blood orange ale. That's fucking disgusting.
Oh, I haven't tried that. I will avoid it. Now you've said that.
Evan will probably love it.
Well, you can go to vending machines now and get craft beer straight from the vending machine. That's
Yeah,
going to
do
love
you know
Japan.
The cheeky bastard. I asked him, is it expensive? And he said, look at the digital numbers on the buttons below.
Saw that, yeah.
And I thought, one, you want me to read numbers? That's an affront any time of day. And then two, put those numbers into a currency converter so I can convert from yen to pounds. And then he wants me to research the Japanese brewing industry to see if the can of equivalent size in the UK
Japan
is going to be around similar price to it's in Japan. Utter bastard.
I did do the conversion for you. If you're
did you?
I know.
curious.
One of them's about £4.80 for a small can, which
Yeah.
it depends on where you buy them and
Yep.
where it's come from, and if it because one of so this is another one that I've got, Northern Monk Eternal Sunshine.
I like the can. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's nice.
So that was, I think that's £3.40 for, what was it? How many mils? 440 mils.
My concern would be about those vending machine cans is if it's canned in the UK, then that's traveled a long way, and there would have been metallic degradation into the beer. So I do generally think that if Evan drinks beer in like America, which is like canned in America, or British beer that's canned in Britain, he would have like flavor.
Not British beer canned in America.
Mouth. way. But so because I think the flavour will be slightly different. So I would like him to, yeah, I don't know. I can't really test that, but
So
yeah.
there's the colour of that. It's quite
Oh.
yellow.
Yeah, it's quite not very see-through either. Very opaque.
It's kind of funny that you mentioned that, Dan, because the sometimes
That's actually really nice.
we'll
and
get
it's
really
called,
skunky Stella here.
DDH. Shut up! It's my birthday. I'm talking.
Sorry.
DDH IPA. What does DDH stand for? Double dry hopped.
Yeah.
There we
Double
go.
dry hopped, yeah.
Yeah. 5.5% ABV. Very nice. I'm enjoying that.
So good. Yeah, you're right. When I was living overseas, I found that canned imported beer was like not very nice in comparison to what it's like when you're at home. So it definitely happens depending how long it's been sitting in the can or sitting on the boat or whatever.
Yeah.
It's also if you're importing beer from a long way away in clear bottles, you should
Yes.
avoid that because
Yeah.
obviously the sunlight will taint it.
Yeah.
So the darker the bottle, the longer the beer will last.
Yeah, and there's no telling if Customs has been holding onto your beer for 6 months, whether or not it's still going to be good if you ever get it.
I can't wait till you try the beers that have been stuck in customs if I ever get to you.
No, the customs agents have pissed that out months ago.
Yeah, that's what I thought. No, that was the second crate, not the first one. Eventually, the beer will get through.
Right, Michael, what rum are you drinking?
I'm drinking Plantation, aged 5 years. And
Nice.
You've not got much
I-
left in that bottle. You must have had a really good
yeah,
Christmas.
I'm finishing on this. I'm finishing it on this special occasion. So I don't usually drink rum, but I've had this on other special occasions in the past, and so I kept to it because I like it. And it's interesting because on the back of the bottle, it has like an actual review from someone at Spirit Journal by the name of Paul Pacult, and it's actually reviews the nose of this drink, the palate. So the palate, it says entry is bittersweet, caramelized onion-like, baked biscuity, roasted. Mid palate is engagingly toasty, nearly fruity as in baked orchard fruits, and resiny. Finishes medium long, bittersweet, chocolatey.
Sounds like a
So-
Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like the phrase. I like the phrase "engagingly toasty."
Yeah, me
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's really nice. So
Where did you
yeah,
get
I
it
don't
from?
know,
Rafa?
after I'm done with this bottle, I'll try finding something else just to get out of the
Is it
plantation craze I've been on for the past years.
Havana Club
golden-
do a nice
what
rum.
else is there?
is it a golden
Sorry?
rum, Rafa? Is it a golden rum? What's the colouring of the liquor?
White rum,
Yeah,
didn't
Or is it?
it's
Oh yeah, it's a good golden.
it's golden. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Havana Club do a nice rum. It's not
Oh,
cheap
nice.
though. They do two
Oh.
different ages. I think they do a 14 and an 18-year-old. Obviously, the 18-year-old's more expensive. But yeah, I haven't had those in a long time. I think one of them's they start at about 25 quid a bottle. But I'd rather pay that than
Yeah.
buy
agreed.
shit rum.
Yeah, I'll look into it.
I don't buy rum for less than 30 quid generally because anything like that is
This
pretty.
flush bastard here.
Yeah.
Who's
I-
less than
I don't-
30 quid, I ain't drinking
I don't
it.
really. I just collect it. I've got bottles and bottles of and I then just bring them out for sampling. And
I
I'm
don't
also
have a-
building up my whiskey collection as well now.
I don't have a beer, Keith, but my mom just texted me something which I thought you might find fascinating because it's in your backyard. So I told you this. I've been to the UK before when I was a little kid. My mom found boxes of things I got when I was there, and here's all the pamphlets of all the castles we went to.
Edinburgh. Can't read the bottom one.
Conway.
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 Conway Castle.
And then I have a bunch of flags from each area. So I have
Good thing the Scotland
Yes.
one's on top. I approve of that. Matt, have you got anything? So do you want to tell us about your roasty beans?
No, I should have made this coffee Irish though, just in honor of your birthday. But
Yeah.
didn't
What's wrong with you?
didn't have any Baileys sitting around. So.
And Liam, so how are you enjoying your soft drink?
Well, I was having this free beer that I got. It's called free stuff. It does come out all right. Yeah, but it's absolutely fucking awful. So they'd only give it away for free if it was a load of shit.
A very brief review.
As X-Play would say, it's a 1 out of 5.
Well, we have our own scale for reviewing beers, which is starts at 0, which is the only good place for this beer is down the drain.
You don't actually drink it.
That is a 0.
It's the fast. You know, it gets a 0 for the fastest way you empty a beer, dumping it into the.
I took one sip earlier. I was like, oh my god, that's putrid. I'm not going to have that again. And I was just sitting there. I was like, I'm thirsty, and I just had another sip. And I was like, oh, why did they do that?
It doesn't get better then. It gets worse.
Not better with age.
Right.
Just when the taste is out, you know.
So, let's get on to some hardcore news. Team ESRB.
Oh, hold on. Give me 2 seconds. You didn't give me the lead up. You're
Oh,
like,
sorry. We need to work on our transitions.
yeah. You need to give me a better lead up. You need to go like, okay, you ready for this? We're going to, and then I can like move things around, touch some buttons. You know.
Caress the keyboard.
Buttons, yeah.
Stroke your mouse.
Yeah, I just did the transition wrong, so just go ahead. I already effed it up, so it's good.
It went back to the balloons, and then
Yeah, and then I transitioned to the. I did change the.
I like this background though.
I did change the quiz background so there's not the old scores of the old teams, so that we just have the quiz background with the music.
Okay, I need to check this out.
All I did was hide the scores.
Well done. On the
is that
fly
the
as
quiz
well,
music?
Matt. You never got used. You never did anything on the fly. You never had moving images. Are you going to blame your hardware?
That's not true. I did have movie
did-
images for the last episode that I streamed.
Because I asked him to. This was already when I was going to take over, so I was
Matt
like,
did it-
start it.
Matt did a great job. I'm not going to shit all over him.
I'm going to take every opportunity I get,
That's fair.
and I would expect exactly the same in return. You guys, well, some of you have heard how my friend David and I talk to one another, so I'm used to this shit. This is tame. Team ESRB, what am I describing here? Years ago, this amount of red might have got you banned, but now this red band has got a lot of enthusiasm around it.
I'm sorry, say that one more time?
Years ago, this amount of red would have got you banned, but now this red band has a lot of enthusiasm around it. What am I talking about?
I see their blood
Riddle.
of China.
What? Hold on. Is this like video game news or what kind of
Yeah.
news is this? Okay.
It's video
I would
game
hope so.
news.
Okay. And then
It's a riddle.
is it like within how long has this news happened between?
Within a week, the last week.
Gotcha. It's not a red to get you banned.
Did you say bread in the beginning or just red?
Red.
Just red.
Not
no,
bread.
there's no bread.
There's
in
no
this
red
game.
bread.
Okay.
The only thing that comes to mind is like a Red Band trailer, but
Yeah. But
Well,
that's-
you would be on the right lines with a red band trailer. But what
Oh.
recent?
Oh,
Red
Mortal
Band trailer
Kombat.
came out?
Mortal
Mortal
Kombat. That's what
Kombat,
the first thing
yeah.
I was thinking. Yeah, Mortal Kombat.
okay.
Yes, we are talking about the red band trailer for Mortal Kombat. So, what are people's feelings about the red band trailer for Mortal Kombat?
Love it. He stabs Scorpion and makes a blood dagger and stabs him again. What genius is this? Like just like the game, it's great. I love it. Give me all of it.
I've already
Liam, we were
expressed my opinions on the Discord.
But they are not on the Discord, so
Our
explain
viewers
yourself.
don't know the Discord. Matt.
I don't know why video game movies exist to begin with. Why is this a fucking thing?
Are you just disappointed that Christophe Lambert isn't playing Raiden? Is
That's
that what's
part
got
of
your
it.
goat? Yeah.
Well, Keith, actually, I was gonna say Burkoff. Well, when we did a episode on what was it, coffee and with Evan?
No, talking about the Beer Onward or Podcast Reload.
No, Podcast Reload, but it was the after that. It was Coffee and Beer podcast.
Yeah, but we weren't on that.
Yes, we
No,
were.
you weren't.
Yes,
The Coffee Beer Cast.
yeah,
I
we
don't
were,
think- I
we
thought
were on
that
for
was just-
2 episodes.
Oh yeah, you were.
We were on for
Because
2
there was
episodes in a
Oh, yeah,
row.
that's right.
that I couldn't
And
make you
I
off.
recall you said that you would love a Mass Effect movie or a Mass Effect TV show. Hypocrite.
Well, I think that they could. That would be one franchise where they could do something with it.
Yeah. I
But
agree.
you just said I don't know why they do video game movies
Oh,
at all.
I think
Yeah,
he just
I
meant
don't-
set in that universe, though. Didn't he?
Yeah, I don't
Not an actual
know
adaptation,
why they insist on using these properties. Like there's probably mountains of scripts out there that are just completely unused or get bastardized into some other IP. And it's like, just do the original screenplay, make that movie, and don't worry about trying to create a new franchise or universe or throw it into,
But why?
But
What's wrong with
even-
seeing your characters on the movie screen when they can do more unique things besides what you can do in games? It's a different medium.
Mitch, I mean, history hasn't really been in your favour on this conversation.
I would disagree.
I
would
watched Sonic the
extremely
other day.
disagree.
I quite enjoyed that film.
Yeah,
Sonic the Hedgehog. Yeah.
Sonic
you-
the
have you
Hedgehog
seen
was
Max-
very good. I wouldn't.
I'm well
question
excited
about
for-
Pain.
I'm well excited for
Would
Tails
the
to
world
come in
really
Sonic
be missing
2.
out that much if that film didn't exist?
I actually
No.
really enjoy
No,
it.
no.
And also,
I enjoyed it too.
Also,
but
also
it's like,
the last Tomb Raider movie that came out was actually I would say above average of a regular video
I
game
wouldn't
movie.
say it.
And then I would also say on top of that, even though the Resident Evil movies have not been as like acclaimed critically, successfully, they make a lot of money overseas. Like they eat
should
this
have
stuff
taken
up.
them-
they made a lot of money here too.
That's the problem with these movies. They take themselves too seriously, and then they look silly. Like
Well,
they should have fun with it.
Well, that's why Sonic was
of
fun,
course,
because it didn't take itself
depends on the
seriously at all.
IP, But
Well, that's what they
For
did with
the-
Resident Evil 2 and on for the movie series. Like, they didn't take themselves seriously anymore. They're just like, what can we do
but-
with these
but
characters
not
and do
for the right
wacky and
reasons,
crazy?
though.
I'm fine with it, you know? Like,
I'm
do
not.
something.
I'm a freaking abortion of that franchise.
Well, they're
So,
they're making a new
more-
one that's going to be more.
Mortal Kombat movies, the previous
believe
ones,
it when
have
I
been
say
much maligned. Whereas what they seem to have done this time is actually got serious martial artists involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, good to see.
Well, and then here's the other thing.
At
If
least
you
they
actually
could do.
play the recent Mortal Kombat games, they are similar in regards to there's very deep backstories for these characters. Like, they have beef with a bunch of characters for certain reasons, but unfortunately, because the game, you can't really explore that as much. Why not do that in film? Why not give a single character their own film if it's successful? Then you can have more stories about these characters. And yes, you could try to do a game about it, but that's not a guarantee. Movies might be easier to do that, and that's fine if they do it well. Like, you know?
there was a Mortal Kombat show at one point with multiple episodes. What was that?
So, Mitch, what you
Raven.
really want is the
Wow.
Marvelization of Mortal Kombat.
I do not want
Where they all
Marvelization of
had
Mortal Kombat.
They all have their individual films, and then they'll come together, and it'll be Mortal Kombat Assemble.
It will
No,
be
And they'll
no,
come
no,
together.
no. That's you're twisting it a little bit. I would like their individual stories so you can understand the details of the characters more and their backgrounds, especially because all these are interconnected. But they don't have to be like this giant. And I don't think that's what they're going for with what they're going to do. So
would love to see
here's where the conversation sparked it on Discord, because I mentioned that a source I know has mentioned that if the movie does well, they are considering doing spin-off shows or a movie on individual characters on HBO Max as a way to like bring in subscribers. I think that would work just fine. Like,
I quite like red. I'm disappointed that aren't more red band trailers in general, because this was quite.
I like that.
Yeah, true.
I love the finish 'em at the end where they just do tons of finishers. Oh, that was great.
Can I just say I really liked the trailer, but there was one line in it that just was fucking hilarious.
Good question.
He just goes, yeah, I've had this birthmark since birth. It's like, yeah, it's a birthmark.
What a birthmark is, yeah.
Freaking hilarious line.
I think
Good
that's the main
question.
problem.
How do these
Michael's going to ask a question.
Yeah, like what are they doing? Because in Mortal Kombat you deadly wound other characters. Like they can't simply come back to life. How would they like?
They're gonna power up and go, "Ooh, I'm back."
Usually
In one movie they could like they could almost all
Kill off the
die.
whole cast.
Well, I wouldn't be disappointed if they killed everyone off, and it just turns out that they just thought, do you know what? Yui Bowles had his fun fucking over movie franchises for years. Let's actually try and do a decent film. I agree with Mitch. The Tomb Raider film with I can't remember.
Elisa Vikander.
Yeah, well, it wasn't bad. It was watchable.
I like that film.
And
It was good.
I mean,
Lost
the
Games.
Tomb Raider movies with
I liked Angelina Jolie.
Angelina Jolie.
Angelina Jolie.
The second one not as much, but the first one was really good.
First one was good. Yeah, I agree.
So
I don't agree with any of that. Right, we're going to move on to the question for Team Peggy. What am I describing here? There's two giants arguing over how many humans they can eat and decide to pull a third giant in to help them count. What could I be talking about?
Are these giants?
Yeah, I assume this isn't especially smart giants.
No, this is just two giants who seemingly want to argue with one another and drag the rest of the world with them.
Isn't this referring to the Apple and Epic thing? And they pulled someone else in. They subpoenaed another company in for information. They refused.
It is done.
They refused to give this
Yeah,
out.
It is the fact
In regards to
that
that news that Epic is actually filing complaints on multiple heads or something.
I know the
No, it's to
answer.
do with
I know
Steam.
the answer.
They asked for the sales data, I think from Steam, and then Steam said no, and Epic like, oh, I think that's what
Can I steal or answer if they get it wrong?
Yes,
What did you get?
No, they announced that there's going to be another servicer that is going to not charge for app usage.
No.
Oh.
Dan gets the points on this one. It is the story that Apple subpoenaed Valve for the
that's
last
what it was.
6 years
That was it.
of
That's
sale
what it is.
records.
Yeah. Then prove to Epic that they haven't stolen their funds. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
And obviously Valve are contesting the subpoena.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm sure they're like, we're not a party to this suit. Like, what the
That's
fuck are you
basically what
trying
they've
to
said.
do?
They've said we're not giving you anything. We're not involved.
Not to mention giving their direct competition tons of sales data.
Yeah.
Right?
It's basically like a back door. Like, oh, let's see inside your books.
I just this whole thing is
Cheeky
it's
bastards.
turned from kind of
Is Epic turning into a
formal litigation into farcical litigation.
Yeah.
Welcome to the U.S.
But aren't they
legal
all,
system.
Aren't Epic also suing them in Europe now because they lost the case in the US?
Yeah,
moved the
they've just
case
taken it to
Europe.
a different high court.
Yeah, they're doing high court because I think they can win.
It's
there
like you
instead.
go to mom says no, and then you go to dad, and dad thinks about it.
Well, normally dad goes, "Why don't you ask mum?" And you know you're fucked.
Yeah.
Oh no, so
Yeah,
for me it was always the opposite.
Okay.
I go to mom first,
Yeah,
then
I
I go to
can't-
dad.
I can't understand what either party hopes to gain from this, other than making their lawyers very, very wealthy.
I felt like at first it was just a way for Epic to get press. But I don't know. Tim Sweeney seems to be on this crusade.
Well, he's got enough money to do it.
Yeah.
No, it's fine.
Turns
It's
out
fine
he
for
has
them to go.
turns out he has the same maturity as the Fortnite players.
I believe that is the
that
sickest
games
of all
based in
burns.
US?
Oh,
Is that the games based in US? Do they have quarters in Europe or something?
Well, they've all
Because
got offices all over the world, and then they move money around depending on what the
I don't
favourable
know.
tax laws are.
Yeah, I don't know how legally that works, but recently I've heard of another company that actually just made like a headquarters in another region, so it's cheaper to go after people.
Oh yeah, they can do that.
So that could be something they.
Well, that's what. And not mentioning politics, but that's what the companies in the UK were told. Oh, save your shipping costs. Why don't you just set up bases in Europe, mainland? Then you don't have to pay the tax in certain ways. So they're like, So
One of the pieces of
corporate companies do this often.
post-Brexit advice was: have you thought setting up your head office in Holland? But we don't do politics here, and there's no politics. There's no politics in video games, even when you're talking about, say, World of Warcraft, where there's based on Dungeons and Dragons, where there's political drama between orcs and humans and elves, which no politics there. Right, Team ESRB. See if you can get what I am talking about here. I am a massive fucking troll of a video game company.
Andy?
I mean, it's got to be the EA Codemasters merger.
Well, there's multiple correct answers for this.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah, I was gonna go EA by finishing off their sale of purchase of Codemasters.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's also correct. I'll give you a little bit more for the specifics of this one. I'm a massive fucking troll of a video game company, and like Randall Peltzer, continuously inventing things only to bury them in the back garden.
Oh,
and
Google
invent
Stadia
something
being
else.
shut down.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh,
I feel like
I think isn't it also WB Interactive? They got a patent for God's sake, the mechanics in Shadow of
The
Mordor
Nemesis
games.
system.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they stole their
Nemesis
Nemesis
system.
system back from Montreal.
It's definitely a troll move.
Like I said, there's multiple correct answers.
Can it be Nintendo just for that direct?
Yeah.
Oh, Nintendo trying to
No, it
force
was.
Skyward Sword on
It
people.
was it was the
we don't have
creator of
Breath of the Wild
Breath of
2.
the Wild 2 who goes through and goes, I'm not here to talk about Breath of the Wild 2, I'm really sorry. I'm going to talk about this game instead. After it says underneath, creator of Breath of the Wild 2. Massive trolling there.
Somebody on Twitter posted like, Skyward Sword is a good game, and I had to comment and be like, even the worst Zelda game is still better than an asset flip. So yes, it's a good game, but by what standard? By the Zelda scale, it's fucking horrible.
Would you like? Because I wrote multiple explanations just to see if I could to add to the I'm a massive fucking troll of a video game company, who says that they believe that anniversaries are important, but won't deliver anything as a present for your anniversary until a year after it's important.
Nintendo.
Nintendo.
It's great.
So yes, we have multiple trolls within the video game industry. We have Google, who creates Stadia and then 2 years later down the line closes it down, makes everyone redundant.
Did you hear
again,
as well? They
Again, the platform itself stays live. It's just them not developing first
But
party
for
games.
how long?
They might buy studios like Microsoft,
But they,
so they don't have to develop them themselves. That's never going to
Or
happen.
they
but-
could spill it. I don't think they're just going to shut it down. They're
going to shut it down. They're going to email everyone a zip file with the games that they bought on and say, download these, thanks very much, bye.
Did you hear what Phil Harrison did though? Because
He
a week
clapped them all,
before
didn't he,
that,
when they left the building?
yeah, he told them you're doing such a great job. A week later, shut down.
yeah. That was it. You saw that.
Typical
I've
Phil
never-
Harrison move.
Phil Harrison is the video game equivalent of your player character in the Tony Hawk franchise. Whenever they faceplant, they just seem to be able to get back up as if nothing's happened.
Yeah, they magically
and
like
just carry
disappear.
on.
They disappear right back up
Yeah.
on the board. I mean, this is not a surprise if anybody could ever say it. Like, we knew as soon as they released this kind of business model was not the smart move. They needed to be Netflix for video games, not a server that you can just use, because gamers, if you're a gamer, you're gonna own a console. You're gonna own a console or have your own PC. You don't need to be streaming games. Like, it's more of an accessory to your console than it is a mandatory, like, your head thing.
But also, Mitch, I think it would have been more effective if they had done deals with Microsoft and Sony and launched an app on their systems and paid them a royalty and gone, can I have it, my app? So I could just go to my apps on my PlayStation and then launch Stadia. I probably would more like to check it out rather than have to get the Stadia controller. Have to get this.
To be fair, Microsoft or Sony would never allow them to do that.
Microsoft might.
Yeah.
No, I know.
Sorry, Microsoft wouldn't. Sony, I think, might have, based off their current technology.
No way.
Based off their
Absolutely
current
no way.
technology, they may. Who knows? Maybe Sony will.
They could give them 100%
think-
royalties and they still wouldn't do it.
Yeah, because Sony are winning. So they would just tell everyone to go fuck themselves
That's true.
and say we're winning and then laugh at them. Michael, how much do you feel trolled by Nintendo from that Direct?
I mean, I like the Mario stuff, but other than that, and the Project Triangle strategy thing. But other than that,
Thing.
it wasn't.
Can I make a comment on that? I haven't played it yet, but I've just realised that Evan is shat all over the one genre I love. Like, his description of having to wait and move and then be upset if you have to start again.
Positioning
And he
takes
should never
turn.
play chess. That's what I realised. He should never play chess because that's basically, these games are like kind of virtual chess, and he's not in for that. But I just had to mention that because I read that yesterday on Discord. and
Wait,
just laughed
hold
at
on.
myself.
One more thing, Mike.
Yeah.
Your image, is that Breath of the Wild 2 that he's shooting out with the
hitting,
golf club?
No,
Yeah.
it's
Skyward Sword.
Skyward Sword, sorry,
Oh. Here I was thinking they're like, oh, we're putting away Breath of the Wild 2, so you
No,
don't
like,
nothing to see
everyone
here.
hates that game, and Mario is just shooting it away. Like, get out of here.
I mean, I will say I'm happy for Splatoon 3. I'm a big fan of Splatoon.
Yeah, but you can't.
Yeah.
Is it, in the 35th anniversary of Zelda, you're putting out Splatoon 3.
Yeah.
It's in 2022 though. It's not this year.
Give us a
Next
special,
year.
I
give
realized
us a
there was-
special
there is
edition
no-
of Link to the Past or something.
Well,
right?
also,
I'd love.
You're getting a
Majora's
remake of
Mask.
Skyward Sword, Matthew. You will shut up and you'll like it, and you will
Which
buy it, and you
also-
will play it, and you will love it, and you will shut up and you will like it, and you will play it, and you'll love it.
Keith,
And then you'll buy it
Tech-
again for the next Nintendo system that we
And-
release it for as well, you fucking idiots.
and technically, Keith, you know, this is only. They said this is only announcements for the. This was weird. They said this was announcements for the first half of the year, but they made announcements for 2022, which made no sense. So I'm utterly confused if
they
they'll
said
do
it
it.
would mostly be focused on games from the first
Do we
half
think?
of the year.
Do we think?
They didn't
What do we
exclude
think?
anything from the other.
Do we think the main Christmas game then is a Pokemon game in
Yes.
this case, and not a
No,
Zelda
it'll be
game?
Breath of the
Surely.
Wild 2 for sure.
No, Zelda is.
No, that's
I
no way.
think
That's
it's
coming out.
delayed.
Yep, it is.
Yeah, it's coming out in March. It'll come out just before the end of the
Nope,
fiscal.
it'll come out in December.
Like we discussed last week.
It'll come
You
out in
want to know about
December.
what we think
like
about
it did
delayed games?
every
Watch last week's
all the
episode.
Nintendo games have been hitting December, so it's gonna hit December.
When I
That's it.
when I
I'm
looked
sure
at
They
the
wouldn't
plot,
release in December. They'd
well,
want to
they're
be in
like,
contention
there's,
for that year's Game of the Awards.
what 10 minutes left, I knew not even 10, 15. I knew there was going to be no anniversary whatsoever, and I also kind of understand that because they delayed so many things. For instance, the whole Mario celebration, there was meant to be a proper direct on that. They weren't supposed to have everything served piecemeal like that.
I guess the
Um,
question for you, Rafa, is: does that even matter? Does
It
having
doesn't.
something to
It
celebrate the 35th anniversary really matter? Like, were you alive all 35 years? Like, is it
mate,
really that
mate,
matter?
if you get married and you're married for 35 years, and okay, in whatever length of time you're married for 35
I see where
years,
he's going with
just
this.
say, oh, sorry, darling, I didn't get you anything. Because does it really matter that we've been married for 35 years? See the reaction you get.
There's difference between
Lost
marriage
direction,
and a
like,
video
something
game
wrong.
franchise.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
Mario's really pissed because he got them a lot of money. Like You know,
Just
and all they gave in return are a bunch of mushrooms. You know.
They keep getting his girlfriend stolen.
I said they didn't have any.
You're right. A different plot for once.
But what actually happened that was supposed to air during E3, and because E3 didn't happen, then they had to release that Mario Direct later. But yeah, I mean, I was ready to get hyped on Zelda. I was ready to see what it's all about, but I also understand why that didn't happen. So, yeah, I guess I'll just wait.
Is the question, Michael? I'm going to come back to you for a follow-up question because these fuckers have talked over you enough already. You're not Matt. I think we just need to clarify that in the room. So, do you think it's more about Nintendo being trolling or people's building up of their own expectations that aren't then met?
Are you asking me?
Yes.
Oh, I don't think they are trolling. I think they needed to address the elephant in the room, where's Breath of the Wild 2, and like that's just going to happen eventually, but not right now. And I think the only reason they put out Skyward Sword HD right now is because they wanted to get the. I'm positive they are aware this is one of their least successful Zelda games. They are aware that people don't really like it as much, so I don't really know what difference would have made if it was part of Zelda Direct later on, but they decided to just like, okay, let's tear a piece from that Direct that we're going to do, and let's release this first because it's at the very least it's still a Zelda thing. So yeah, I guess that's what happened.
And it comes with a limited edition Switch.
Yeah, with limited edition Joy-Cons.
That will still have stick drift. So there's that. Whenever you swing your Master Sword, make sure you don't have stick drift. And that's not a euphemism.
Does it have motion controls or
Yeah.
is it all?
Yeah, they have adjusted motion
Play with
controls
motion
and button
or you
controls.
don't have to.
But they haven't made it clear whether it you can play the game without motion controls or not.
You can.
Yes, they
It's
can.
made
They
it
did.
clear,
They
yeah.
clarified
Yeah.
that.
They did
said
a whole menu video about it.
They have specific button controls if you want to only play with
That's
buttons.
specific button controls.
Right,
You can play it in.
place,
It's so it works on the handheld only version.
That's good to know because
So
I got
if you
pissed
don't
off
have
and
it,
left
you
my
don't have the
computer.
light.
Like basically,
It would
they
work on the light.
could not release this game with motion controls because of the Switch Lite.
The light.
You'd have to buy a Joy-Con. and
Joy-Cons.
They would never.
I
separate
don't
to
know
play.
for sure, but I think they.
Oh no, that's a very Nintendo thing to do, though, wouldn't it?
But they would
Yeah,
get
it would be.
so much blowback on that, like way beyond. Because how much is a Joy-Con? $80, $70?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's-
I've got Drift, but I refuse to buy a new set. So
Oh, I bought a new set because I had Drift.
Because I'd rather buy a new
I-
PlayStation
I-
controller.
It
than
was
a
ridiculous.
Joy-Cons.
It cost me £9, and I got them off Amazon, and I just replaced them, and they work great.
What, the actual joysticks?
Uh,
Oh,
Oh
I
wow.
might do that.
Only £9, and they work like a charm.
Okay.
I- Before we move on, I was just gonna say that anyone that expected the anniversaries to be anything special was kidding themselves because it's fucking Nintendo.
Oh no! One thing
Nintendo lives
I
to disappoint.
one thing is I do think though is that I don't think this is the full story. I think there's more Zelda stuff. For later.
Oh yeah, I think so too.
I
There'll
don't
be a
think it's
Pokemon
just
Direct,
Skyward
and I
Sword.
think there'll be a Zelda Direct this year. in
Yeah.
soon.
Well, I don't know about a Zelda Direct, but I know they
do
have
it
more
along the
things to
announcement of a
announce.
Switch Pro.
Yeah,
No.
probably.
Also, I am shocked though they didn't have at least another trailer for Zelda because we had a trailer for Zelda 2 years ago,
Yeah.
and they just kind of left it.
You know why, Mitch? Because even though you think it's coming out this year, it's not coming out till March next year. That's why there was no trailer.
No, it's coming out this year.
Okay.
I put my
And on
game
that-
score on it, for God's sakes. It better
What
come
about-
out this year.
What about Metroid Prime 4? Damn it! Like, where the fuck
That's
is
gone.
Well, that one
Yeah.
switched studios. That's
2023.
That,
2028.
all of a sudden,
Never coming.
they're gonna have their offices are gonna get flooded, and then all of a sudden they're just not gonna have the game anymore.
Metroid Prime 4 is going to come out the same year that Cyberpunk 2077 runs without any bugs.
But that's
never?
never.
Which is
Never.
which McWomble is the same time we get Starfield.
Starfield might come out this year.
It is not coming out this year.
I think it has
Which
a
is the
better
same
chance
time we get.
than
Which is the
Zelda.
same time we get a
I think
gameplay
Starfield has a better
trailer for
chance coming
Skyrim.
out this year than Breath of the Wild.
It's
I
possible.
agree with Liam.
It's possible that they will announce it in June or July, and it'll be out in October or November.
Right, moving on. Everyone shut up. Team ESRB, what am I talking about here? Who's been affronted by the removal of behinds?
Oh,
Removal of behinds, like ass or butt.
I don't know, you tell me, it's your question.
I was looking for some clarification on behind.
I recall this,
Removal
but I
of
don't know exactly what the
behinds.
story was.
Oh, it's a Mass Effect Legendary.
Oh, that's right.
Yes,
They
it is the
changed
Mass Effect
the-
Legendary
yeah.
Edition.
Yeah.
the most pointless argument in the
I like this
universe.
round,
Which
Keith.
I mean,
It's-
honestly, I was a big fan of Miranda. I romanced her in 2
Miranda's
and
ass.
3.
yeah.
Is it, have you been abusing people online because of the removal of some unnecessarily gratuitous butt shots from the game?
No, I read that and I just moved on with my life. I was
Yeah, I mean, it's like half and half. It's like I don't care, but at the same time, why the hell change it? Like you shouldn't
Yeah.
have to change it. Like it doesn't
agree.
matter.
Why not?
the
Why
argument was
why
that-
shouldn't any? So Michael, is being the resident artist on the panel, have you ever gone back to an old drawing and thought, you know what, I could change a bit here and change a bit there and make it look better or different, or change it into
Yeah.
something else?
Yeah, I did that.
So if who's to say to another set of artists you can't change something because it already exists?
Their argument was that the tone of some of those conversations, because there were like important moments in the plot, were downplayed by the fact the focus was on her ass. So you were supposed to care for whatever was going on in the story at that moment, rather than to stare at her ass. So
Can I
that was
also
my
point out?
from the developers, that's why they changed it, because it was like you were supposed to be invested in the story, but something else.
Not in
was
Miranda's
like-
behind.
Yeah.
But then they're gonna change it, and then it's gonna be all her chest.
I literally
I don't
remember
think
that scene.
Yeah,
I don't think
so.
anyone would be that tone
Not
deaf
really,
to
because
what's
if
happened
you
in
move
society that they would just move the camera
upward,
up and
you're
around a
only-
bit.
It's
Actually,
it's a
so-
joke. It's a total joke. I know
What's it-
that's not gonna happen.
No, but what's interesting though, if you look at Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3, Ashley's breast size increases each game.
It
dead
totally
serious.
does. Yeah,
I'm dead
it totally
serious.
does.
So
I'm
there's
looking at
that.
growth spurt.
See, and this is the thing for me. Like, I could care less about like an ass shot or a breast shot or any kind of shot in regards to like someone's body parts. Like, I don't really pay attention much to that. I know I'm in the minority, but for me, that's just not an important thing. Like, I listen to what's going on, and if they show an ass, why? It doesn't
Personally,
matter.
I think this is
I bet
another
people
win for
will-
Fox News.
It's like they've left the fucking sex scene in. What more do they want?
Yeah, if anything, they should have gone back and reinstated the lesbian romance with Jack.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
I'm
think they should have
disappointed
done
didn't
that.
do
Absolutely, I
Yeah,
think they should do that.
absolutely.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
100%. And then just say "F you, Fox News" after.
Yeah,
Like,
they should have that somewhere in the background, or
Yeah.
on just one of Jack's tattoos. They could
Yeah,
put it on.
"F you, Fox
F you,
News."
Fox News. That'd be great.
Well,
See,
well,
that's
no.
what they should have done.
Yeah.
Then I would approve
Somebody-
them going back and changing the art just for that.
Yeah. Someone email Casey Hudson.
But I think the only reason why I say the only reason why I'm saying why go back and change it is, it's always interesting to like play games from the time that they are from, and context at that time matters. So like
Well,
an
it's
example,
in the same-
an example like it's in the
But
same.
they
it's-
also changed the lighting direction, and nobody's complaining about that. Or like they did so many changes, and I
But
think
here's
that
the
argument could be used for all of them.
No,
for
but
all
here-
of the Why increase the
Yeah,
resolution?
I think I know where
I'm
Mitch is
specifically
going
I'm
with this.
specifically talking about the camera work, and not specifically about the art. So the camera work, like they're trying to match a style at that time that was found acceptable, and to change that is, like, you might as well make a new game and do it that way. But like, for me, it's just like, I like the history. I like seeing this is what the history was, even though it's not as acceptable. Like, yeah, of course, you rather have them focus on the face than their ass, but you don't want to lose the history of knowing that's what it was at the time. You don't want to erase history.
I think they would have been better served by doing, if you're going to talk about we're doing this because of we're in a different time in the relationship and how people view women in media, reinstate the fucking lesbian relationship between Jack and Femshep.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're going to be progressive, change other things. Make it progressive.
Yeah, change everything.
Give the people who harangued you in the news and on media for having a lesbian relationship in a video game, give them the finger and reinstate that. I would have. I couldn't care less if they've changed some camera angles on whatever about that. So anyone who's bitching and moaning about that, shut up and get over it. Move on with your life. Matt did it, and he's a better human being for it.
Yeah.
Put something in the settings like old camera work, new camera work, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean that would be another way to do it.
I
think
who cares? Like,
yeah, well, this is the whole point. Why is this a news story?
I love Mass Effect.
Do you know what would have been a better news story if BioWare had actually challenged the people on their vision at the time, and they bowed down to it and said, no, actually, our vision is that in this future, women can have consensual sexual relationships if they want, without fear of media companies harassing them out of existence. That would have been a much more powerful message. Oh no, we've just taken some butt shots out because we thought they were a bit gratuitous. Seems like the low-hanging fruit, and I hate that phrase, and I despise BioWare for making me use it just now. Right, moving on.
Before we move on, I just wanted to say something. Keith, I really like this. It was like a gaming, have I got news for you? And you're doing a great job.
Well, I was thinking that if Evan comes back on, maybe if we do it like this, he'll be more engaged with news shows. So last question for Team Peggy. I have no power, but have been brought in to try and save the day with my roadmap. Who am I?
Cyberpunk and their roadmap?
No, think of another game.
Think of one of a million games out there.
Yes. But yeah, who has absolutely no powers but has been brought in to save the day with their roadmap? And this was a trailer from just a couple of days ago.
Oh, okay.
Can I ask if it's related to BlizzCon?
Oh, it's not related to BlizzCon. The only they would if Corey, shout out to Mythic Riven and Brian Bentley from A Starting Point podcast, not to be confused with Starting Point done by Chris Evans. I'm still disappointed they weren't able to get Chris Evans to send me a birthday message. If Corey had been on, there would definitely be BlizzCon news in here.
Or get Chris Evans to even be on their show.
You got to wait for the big 4-0 kid. That's when Chris Evans will do you.
Chris Evans will do me when I'm 40.
Oh yeah, he's a very charitable man. I'm the wife.
Not sure.
There's so many jokes in there that I'm not going to say.
I wonder if it's a game I actively follow.
Right. Does anyone want to have a guess what I could be referring to here?
I feel like it's something I don't care about.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Well, you were on the right lines talking about superheroes.
Marvel's Avengers.
The Marvel's Avengers, isn't it? It's the
I
Hawkeye.
didn't even know.
Hawkeye DLC, isn't it?
It's the Hawkeye DLC.
Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't realize they'd put out a roadmap for it.
Yeah,
they
they have.
have.
Yeah.
They've announced that the Hawkeye DLC is coming. They've also done a roadmap trailer alongside it
Yeah.
to show where the game is going to be taken.
I just watched
What did
the story for the next gen version and the trailer for the next gen version and the trailer for the new characters. But
They need to make that game free to play. They really
Yeah.
do.
I mean,
They need to make
that's-
that game free to play and then just release DLC, paid DLC.
Oh, sorry, it wasn't a roadmap
Just
trailer.
remove
It was an
microtransactions.
announcement online that's going to be a roadmap.
I'm
Because there's always a
An
roadmap.
announcement of a roadmap.
So,
Put it like this way, it's
hold
fair
up,
to
hold
just
up,
stop
hold up,
murdering
hold
the
up. Let's
game,
get this straight. They announced Hawkeye trailer, and then they said, "Oh, we're gonna announce a roadmap." After Hawkeye was supposed to come out 3 months ago.
Yeah.
So basically,
Along-
we're gonna be
along with the
waiting
next-gen
at least
versions
another
as well.
three. We're gonna wait another 3 to 6 months before we get this roadmap. Dead in the water. They're
Well, the game's already dead. They just
that's what
don't
I
know
mean.
it yet.
It needs to roll to free to play, and then it might survive. Might revive.
either
it.
need to go free to play or shut it down.
Yeah.
I think they just need to take it out back behind the shed, put
Should
it out
it?
of its misery. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
To be honest, most of the team has moved away from the game. Is now working on the new Tomb Raider. So they
you know
they-
that all of you,
they're
That's a
cutting
much
the
better
losses.
use of
points
their
right
time.
now.
Yeah.
There's a
Good
timer on the joke that could be had about this game and about it dying and fading from existence, and no one made that joke. Thank you, Michael.
Right.
I was waiting for someone to do that. Just put it out of its misery. The only saviour for this would be for it to go free to play and just charge for microtransactions.
Yeah, I agree.
No, I think that'd be a bad idea.
Nope, I agree.
No, I think it's not gonna. No one else is gonna buy it. So
I'm-
if you want people to buy it, content,
But
you
it's
gotta make
so
it free to play.
frustrating they
I
didn't
don't think
wait
Marvel
for
would even let them do it.
Marvel would let them do it.
They've got loads of Marvel's
They'd
got
make,
loads of
they
free
would
to play
they would
games.
make more. They would basically say, "Look at
More money.
Fortnite. We'll be Fortnite, free
Yeah,
to play,
exactly.
and do a pass every single week. People will eat it up. We'll make a ton of money. You get a ton of money. Deal."
I think Marvel would prefer to do that than to take it behind the shed and admit that they've got a failed Avengers game.
And to be
Yeah,
honest,
but taking
Marvel's-
out behind the shed isn't their only option. Like,
But to be
they're
honest,
still
Marvel is not as involved in the games industry in regards to properties that they work on. They are very much pro let the companies that have their properties
Yeah.
do their thing.
They've made their
That
money
isn't as
because
true
they
as
would
you
have been. It's more likely that they've charged a license fee
Yeah.
and they've got their money back. So Marvel and Disney are happy, and Square Enix have lost a load of money on this.
Yeah.
Square Enix took the risk, not Marvel and Disney.
Exactly.
Yeah, I assume so.
Pretty much.
So this is nothing off their shoulders. They're just basically like, do what you need to do. Like, obviously, if it's a really bad decision, they
I
will
don't
stop
know.
them.
I
But
don't know what they could possibly do if they don't not making it free to play. If they didn't make it free to play, what would you think? Because you adamant they shouldn't do that. But what could they do to make people buy this game? Like
Disappear,
Give
go
it to
away for a while, come back once they've added some huge expansion of some sort, or just stop working on it and focus on a sequel.
It needs to-
that's killing the project though. Is
Well,
That's what
I mean, I suppose, but it's different than like not doing another game.
But surely, if you made it free to play, you get more people
Do a Destiny,
eyes on,
like just go
and then
do
you
a
can do
huge
that.
expansion or something.
Make it open world.
but Destiny is not a large property,
Yes, but Marvel is.
but it's not large enough.
Well, there's two things here. One, does Square Enix want to admit failure and shut it down? And then the second thing is, two, can they afford to admit failure and shut it down?
Slow it down, yeah.
They're not EA raking
honestly,
up that FIFA
so-
dollars.
What I would do is I would have the Scarlet Witch go crazy and alter the entire universe and do a Realm Reborn style
Oh,
epic
that's a nice
event
idea.
in game,
Yeah.
and then switch it over to
Well, match what they're doing right now with the movies. Just
Good
do the
thing you
multiverse.
mentioned
Just rip it out.
I think-
Rip it out.
right.
Yeah.
I think
So
the way they
That would be the
looked
way
at-
to save it, I think.
I think the way they looked at this game was like, okay, we're going to have movies releasing on the side, shows releasing on the side, and I think their intention was, okay, when something is hot, we're going to release a new character that's, like, I bet if it wasn't for COVID, maybe they would have had something like Vision, or I don't know, maybe like that. I think that would have helped this game. I don't know how it would have tied with what this game actually is, both from a gameplay standpoint and
Do you mean a
and
grindy piece of shit?
one, but that would have been a better approach. Like, look at Marvel Cinematic roadmap, right? Movies, shows, and then try to match piecemeal content related to each of these things inside the game, and that would have given the game longevity and would have kept people interested.
You need a job at Square Enix.
See, yeah, and that's why Dan and I are saying free to play as a big component, because if you need to last it that long to be able to get to those characters, you need to have it. So, and then the other thing, the only thing,
For instance,
hold on,
Liam,
I got
I've
one more
got
thing
no
really quick.
desire.
Oh, sorry, really quick. I was just gonna say the only thing I would push back on, Ralph, for you is that they didn't have Vision in the pipeline or anything like that, because WandaVision was supposed to be out in the fall. The game came out in the fall, so they would have had to announce that character right away, and they didn't do that. So that wasn't gonna happen. But I see what you're going.
Do everything off.
What?
So yeah, that's unfortunate.
What I would say was, I've got no desire to buy this game, even for £10. But if it was free to play, I probably would download it and play it for about an hour to see what it's like. That's all I mean. Like, as in, if free to play, like, I'll try anything that's free to play, and I might install it, play it for an hour and regret doing that, but it's free to play. And so that's the
What
only
about if
reason
this game
that,
came to Game Pass?
It won't,
Then-
because there's a marketing deal with Sony.
okay.
Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
point. Didn't think about that.
But I personally think they should just go away for a long while. Like, add in Black Panther, add in
And-
Spider-Man, have all of those things in there, bugs fixed. They've gotten rid of the ridiculous, grindy microtransaction system, bring it back out with
And I
an
think
extra layer of
that-
polish, and then people might buy it.
I think the main problem with it going free to play is the fact that it's already bootleg versions of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, right? They don't have the likeness rights for those characters, so they've got off-brand, kind of not really those characters, but kind of look like the actors.
I find that to be a strange argument, because
Well, and then if it goes free to play, it cheapens it even more.
yeah, well, I agree with that, but I don't
but it
understand
can't-
what people don't get about those characters, like wanting those characters to be like in the films, because they can't hire the actors to play them. They might as well just go
They
for
could
their
have
own
done.
direction.
They would have had to have paid them a significant amount of
You
money.
can't. They couldn't afford just simply Rob
That's what
Downey
I'm saying,
Jr.
they can't afford
That
to.
would cost them too much.
Burkoff,
That was my
I get-
argument to begin with.
I get
like,
your point, Burkoff, but I think making it, because of that reason, I think making free to play is the smarter option, because it isn't the cinematic universe, which is what they're
Yeah, it's
mainly
true.
known for. You want an easier jump in, and $60 is a hard ask, especially for something like that. You want an easier jump in for someone that is unfamiliar with the familiar. You know,
It isn't $60 anymore, though. You can get that thing for $30.
No, I know, but why would you?
I'm looking on the PlayStation Store right
You
now.
would
it is
if they
for-
updated the game and fixed it.
I see. I'm looking on the.
But how would I know
I'm looking
that?
on the PlayStation Store
Because-
right now,
because
Liam,
they would
and
remarket it.
I haven't seen it drop to $30 except for 1 week.
I've seen it
Besides
for
that,
£30.
right now it's $45.
Again, I think the other issue is, Liam, is all these microtransactions in the game. So
That's
if you
what
want
I'm saying. They
microtransactions
need
in
to
your game,
remove that shit. Like, the game isn't going to be more enjoyable simply because it's free.
but I think they'll make more money by making it free to play, because people are more likely to spend £5 occasionally than put down 40 in one go.
Do you know what
Or
is
you'll
worth that
just
amount
not
of
buy
money?
anything because the game's microtransactions are predatory.
Just a
and
quick
nobody
thing, I
will
think-
Plus, that
spend
campaign
money
doesn't
on it.
even warrant the cost it is. It's not very good.
Rafa's got a question.
Just a quick thing. I'm also thinking, though, that might be just me. I think it's also a problem with the fact that the game itself lacks variety, because it's fun. It's fun because I played in the beta and I loved the first 3 rounds or whatever, like dropping in a map, beating the shit out of enemies. But then the 4th time, okay, like, I'm using the same moveset. I don't like games telling me like, oh, you should try another character. I need to be incentivized to do that, not just see their animations that probably each character takes the same time. Like, one is range, one is close range, one is whatever. I don't find that necessarily entertaining. I'm thinking maybe do something more than just combat. You know, like, I don't know what that is. Some people suggested, oh, we would like to have PvP of some kind, you know. But right right now there's no variety because and I wanted to ask if any of you played Destiny. Is shooting all you do, or is there like
Yes.
some
Shooting's
form of-
all you do.
Yeah.
But I'll admit,
Destiny's a lot more fun.
shooting's all you do, but I will admit the shooting feels really good. It's some of the best
Yeah, it
shooting
feels good.
feel in any game.
And
Okay,
but
perhaps-
there's a lot of variety in
perhaps
level design as
shooting
well.
can be more nuanced in combat rather than.
But I
really-
will
I think.
But I will say
Well,
it
I
It's
do
still a
suffers.
grindy piece of shit.
I will say Destiny suffers the same thing that you're talking about for Marvel because, you know, you can go through the same mission 4 times because you have to get yourself to a certain level so you can do the other missions or anything like that, and
Do
so
you
it
think-
becomes a
Do
grind.
you think that a lot of these games has fallen into the trap that they've seen battle royales where these people are willing to go into the same map over and over again, collect gear, shoot each other, die, start again, rinse, repeat, and they are like, oh, this isn't a multiplayer game, but if we do the similar thing when you're just playing with your friends against the AI, you'll happily do that over and over again.
Well, we've spoken about this in the past, which is people learning wrong lessons. And Square Enix have definitely learned some wrong lessons when putting this game out.
Well, and I also think this is the lesson of the, and it's a very far end thing, but I think this is the learned lesson wrong about the subscription model, because a lot of these games have game passes where it's like you're spending so much a month or so much a week, these battle
Destruction All
passes,
Stars have the same,
and so
business
there's just too many of them now, and there's like, you look at your bill now and you have 20 different services you're using, whether that's your Netflix, your Game Pass, your Battle Royale that you're using. And I mean, I was talking to a person I play tennis with, and he has 2 kids that play Fortnite all day
It's a
long.
Battle Royale tennis.
Yeah. And so he and I were talking, and he has 2 kids, and he's like, yeah, I look at my credit card bill and it's insane of how many subscriptions I have now. And now he's going back and going, do I need these? And that's
Well, if you want to have that conversation, there was an episode of A Starting Point where Corey admits how many times he bought the Battle Pass for Fortnite. And I think he bought it 9 times, the same Battle Pass.
Not realizing that he did? Or...
No, he knew. He knew what he was doing. So he bought it for him on PlayStation, him on Switch. He bought it for him on PC. He bought it for his daughter and his son
That makes more sense.
on
in a month.
their Nintendo
In 1
Switches
month,
as
yeah.
well. So,
Wow.
and I think he paid for it on something else as well. So I think we got up to 9 times that he bought.
That's $100.
So
Yeah,
this is the wrong lesson learned, is that one person thinks because subscriptions, people are buying it, everyone wants subscriptions, and then it makes it very difficult on the consumer.
Yeah,
I
but
just
don't
want to make one
have
more
multiple
point.
subscriptions for the same game. So you've got because they had subscriptions for individual characters within Marvel's Avengers. So you'd have to buy a battle pass
For every single character.
for every single character
Yeah,
every
that
month.
wouldn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again,
So-
I need to point out that you can potentially buy only once, and then when you complete everything you need to do with that character, you actually gain that premium currency back, and you can invest it into the next character. So
Well, I think they could do something like Apex Legends does, where you can play to unlock characters, but the characters are gated.
I understand
And
that
you can
It
buy
takes
them if
so
you want,
fucking
or-
long to do that.
Oh, I know it does.
But here's-
I know
Same-
it does.
same
I just
balance,
have
yeah.
one
think
last
here's the
point
o-
to make about this. I was just saying that Rafa made like a really good point about Marvel's Avengers. That if somebody is like bored to continue playing after only playing a few rounds, like what's the point of making it free to play? Because if you do that, you're just simply taking the same game that already has a concept that people easily lose interest in. They have no monetary like sort of involvement in the game anymore because they've had it for free. They can stop playing whenever they want. They don't feel compelled to play it because they haven't paid $60 for it. You just make it free to
good
play,
point.
and those people are just going to try it and then leave it. They're not going to spend any money because they have all of that content for free.
But
Anyway.
I think here's the overall lesson of just everything in general, like sum it everything up, is that if you're going to do microtransactions, if you're going to do battle passes, the game needs to be free to play.
Yeah,
It's plain and simple.
If
you're paying
think there's
$60
another
I think
lesson
there's
to
a
be
way
learned.
to do it.
if
Overwatch
you're
is a
paying
good example.
$60 for a game, you can have DLC. That's totally cool. I think that's what game publishers have learned from the last few years, and unfortunately, Square Enix did not learn that lesson, and they're
late to the party.
There's another lesson to be learned here, which is if you're going to try and make this type of game as a service, don't make it a grindy, boring piece of shit. I think that's a more important lesson that everyone should learn. And I've just had a thought that we don't have a roadmap. So how can we possibly hope to grow our viewership if we don't have a roadmap?
If we make a roadmap,
Good point.
We need a roadmap.
I was just
guys.
making one.
Of the backgrounds I'm doing.
Yeah. Well, then you'll definitely have the the enemy's conspiracy against Keith will be on the outside, and it will probably be worse. You want to keep your enemies close. Okay.
So Liam, how are you, by the way?
How am I?
Yeah, how is your global conspiracy against me going?
That's none of your business.
Do you have a roadmap?
I would say less a roadmap, more of a list of hits. I would say.
Okay. more a topographical chart. Right. We've ended up in a tie. Well done, everybody.
Yay.
Points all round. Yay. But in the spirit of American sports, you have to finish a game with a winner. There is no such thing as a draw.
Overtime.
So, Team ESRB, can you, for the win, because I'm not going to ask these guys because they already know the answer, what does PEGI stand for?
Oh, fuck. I'd have to look it up. That'd be cheating. I don't know what it means.
Sorry.
Which would be interesting because I doubt these guys know what PEGI stands for either.
Can you give me the spelling of the acronym?
It's PEGI.
PEGI.
Yeah.
Let's put it like this: you either know it or you don't know it.
Platform electronic game industry.
I know it as well. Pan-European games information, I think.
Gaming information.
Oh, gaming information. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Oh yeah.
I knew the G stood for games or gaming.
Yeah.
And Dan and Liam, since I told you the other day, what does ESRB stand for?
European.
European Standards Rating Board.
Entertainment Software Rating Board.
Yeah.
That's one.
Yeah.
Because the ESA made the E and the S and then a rating board about it to avoid Mortal Kombat getting banned, and then we take it full circle back to the beginning. Ooh.
Good job.
Well
Happy
done,
birthday,
everybody.
Keith.
Do you think Evan would like a news show like this, since he doesn't like talking about news?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think you would.
I like that.
It's too bad he wasn't on this one.
Too bad.
It's a way to like speed round the news. I'll have to make new graphics and not do the music in the background. I thought it was going to be very short answered type thing, so I was like, oh, but the music's playing while we're talking. But I was like, we're already halfway through. I'm not going to change it now. It's going to sound weird.
I noticed that. Yeah.
So
it's all good.
Sound were quite quiet though. I thought when I went on there, so I think we were okay.
Yeah, I put it on. I put it on the same volume as our quiz time volume, so it's all good. But I'll make new graphics for that if that's going to be a more revolving.
Yeah, as I said, Keith, the gaming version of Have I Got News for You, very much enjoyed it. For those who don't know what that is, maybe check it out on YouTube. It's quite funny. It's a political.
Except here's
it's a political news show where they basically do what Keith does and they describe things in a funny way, and they relate it to what's going on in the political news from that week.
I have a really fascinating idea, Keith. I do want to talk to you about later. It's a spin-off. It's very much takes from a sports show that they have, but it's
Can we put it on the to-do list for the roadmap?
Yes, because I think if you did it like this in this type of style, I think you might like what you would have the power to do.
I like Power. Power's good.
That doesn't sound good.
Liam's like, I've got to double my efforts.
Yeah. Need to up the ante.
Any opportunity to use a Masters of the Universe GIF.
I'm there. And on that note,
are you gonna sign off or anything, or like do any kind of like, you know?
yeah, I'll sign off.
Not sign. I'm
Here you
sorry.
go.
I'm sorry. I mean,
Bye.
like notify of the Twitters, all that kind of stuff. You know.
There we
Yeah,
go.
I'm signing. No, I'm too cool for that. If you would like to follow us on Twitter, we don't actually do enough on Twitter,
No.
which is at @pixel_pints, or follow us on Instagram, which is Pixel Pints Pod.
All right, and
Yeah, do so. Please leave
everyone's trying all the graphics. Oh, sorry. Give me a minute. I'm not ready for this.
I'm not ready for this.
Oh my god. All right, and gentlemen,
We're mucking about with filters.
we are out.
I'm going to go cook.
You have to
What
cook
do you
on
have for your birthday, Milky?
I'm doing homemade sweet and sour chicken with egg fried rice.
Are you
I've got
battering
2 bottles.
the chicken? Are you doing it not
No,
battering?
I'm not battering the chicken. I've got 2 bottles of Qingtao in the fridge as well.
Nice.
Oh, all right, okay.
How much do they cost you?
£1.75 a bottle.